Apparently, The Witcher 4 is, well, you know, so bad. It got cooked. It did. It got completely cooked. It's totally dead. Previously on...
Princess Cirilla! Siri!
Siri! Where's the girl?
Where's Siri?
Oh! Oh!
Okay.
He's looking for Siri. I need to find Siri.
Where is Cirilla? Have you seen Cirilla?
Siri! Siri!
Where are you, Siri?
Siri, Siri, are you here?
Gay!
We're looking for Siri.
Is he gay?
Siri.
I didn't get that far. A lot of screaming, huh? Coming up. Wow. I can't wait to watch this show.
Siri disappeared. Siri.
Anything to get Siri back, right?
Actually, I'm a lesbian.
Geralt, have you had any more wild dreams about...
Anything to get Siri back, right?
Actually, I'm a lesbian.
Geralt, have you
No, I don't
had
think
any
that
more
was
wild
it.
dreams about Siri? Has he told you about Siri, Regis?
What if I can't save her?
Well, there's still no sign of Siri.
About
I've
Siri.
got to say that the one thing
Has he
that
told you about Siri, Regis?
I do think that Lawrence Fishburne, I think he looks good as Regis. I think he does. Even though it's a race swap, it's a race swap with a well-known established actor. I would never complain about this. This is fine. He was good, yeah.
What if I can't save her?
Well, there's still no sign of Siri.
We know Siri is connected.
I'm a lesbian.
Siri.
He's too good for the show.
Siri is what we all need. Everyone wants Siri. I do want to save Siri.
Lesbian.
Find Siri.
God damn.
Want Siri? Siri will be safe.
I need to protect Siri.
Find Siri.
Wait, where's Siri? Siri is still at risk.
I love how everybody, it's like this show, like The Witcher 3 was made around Ciri, but it wasn't really, like she wasn't the main character. Like she was like the main plot device, but she wasn't the main character. Geralt was the main character.
.com.
I don't know how people don't
Greetings, you
understand
over
that.
1 million lovers of all things good and dislikers of all things bad, and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. It goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that Netflix's The Witcher will go down in the annals of pop culture history as just another epic fantasy adaptation completely destroyed by ego, hubris, modernity, the message...
When was the last time that a fantasy show came out and it was good? When was the last time? Like no, not Fallout. Like Arcane, Game of Thrones. So the beginning of Game of Thrones. So like over 15 years ago. Okay. Yeah, not so good, huh? Oh yeah. You know what? People do like House of the Dragon. That's true. People do like that.
and a clear disdain for the source material. And that was before season 4 premiered, but now that it is upon us, the only thing keeping this in the zeitgeist of pop culture is people continuing to marvel that this show is still being made. And what a journey it has been to get here. When The Witcher premiered way back in 2019, it was well received by the audience. And there were more than a few outlets and fans.
I don't know why Netflix would have even continued with it, because like it's only going to damage their brand and make them look bad. Like you probably should be paying money to not have it shown.
Saying that The Witcher could be the heir apparent to Game of Thrones. Unfortunately, it was all downhill from there. Henry Cavill, prior to season 2, in the kindest way possible, tried to warn us that showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich was going to stray from the source material.
The showrunner has a particular vision for the show and for the characters in the show. The books, certainly the first few, is very much from a Geralt perspective, with the shift of the showrunner's vision where it's an ensemble.
He's so political about it, but it's so obvious what's going on. It's so obvious what he's trying to say.
Casts more so than a singular lead, and the perspective is shifted to be almost more of a Cirilla Yennefer perspective. It's about finding my character's place within that vision and making sure that I do everything I can to be as faithful to the source material as possible that I can be within the structure set out for me.
And what did you...
What a reasonable thing to say, too. Like, yeah, it's not the way I want it to be, but I'm going to try to do my best to fit in and do the best job I can do. You know, like, that's, yeah, exactly.
know it, The Witcher Season 2 strayed from the source material,
It
turning
sure
The
did.
Witcher into the Yennefer. And unsurprisingly, the ratings and the audience scores went down. And then everybody started calling out everybody.
I love how, like, everybody thought that the show about a Giga Chad with a sword is gonna be like, oh wow, why aren't girls watching this? And so what does he do? He saves women and he kills monsters? Oh. And people stopped watching when he made it about the girl instead? Oh, right, okay. Wow.
Including former X-Men 97 and Witcher writer Bo DeMeo calling out Hisrich and her team for openly mocking the source material in the writer's room. Hisrich calling out Henry Cavill, Andrei Sapkowski, the creator and writer of The Witcher, calling out Lauren Hisrich.
Maybe I gave them some ideas, but they never listened. They never listened.
Where Hisrich and her team took time off
So
from
apparently, recently, he also commented about The Witcher 4. I just want to pause and show this because I don't know if I can find it quickly, but if I can, I'll show you. So he did comment about The Witcher 4, and he said that basically they don't really ask him for advice anymore, and he thinks it's better that way. He's happy that they don't ask him for advice. It looks like I can't really find it. I don't really know where it was. But yeah, that's it. So they used to ask him a lot, not so much anymore. And The Witcher School, how much must we dream? He's done? Yeah, he's done, bro. He's finished. He finished it. That was out of context, by the way, wasn't?
bastardizing the lore of the book so they could pervert the lore of the game. And this can't be undersold, turning the leader of the Wild Hunt, the very formidable Aridin, into a sad gay man. After that, season 3 came out.
He's sad and gay? Aridin's gay? What? Why's he gotta be gay? Like, I mean, Sauron could have been gay in The Lord of the Rings. We don't need to know. Why do you even need to know that?
And there was another dramatic loss in viewership. And it's at this point the show was essentially dead. But Hollywood, being no stranger to reanimating the corpse of a franchise only to defile it, carried on.
It worse.
And announced poor Liam Hemsworth would be the replacement for Henry Cavill, and I hope he got a lot of money. Then things went quiet for a good long while until
he was never, even if he did a great job, it was everybody was already primed to think it was going to be awful. Like I think he shouldn't have taken the role, if you want me to be honest. I think it was a mistake for him to have done that, because now people are going to compare him to Henry Cavill, and they're always going to say it's worse. It's like, yeah, it's doomed to fail. Like, he set himself up to fail. I have one cream soda. Look at this. Wow.
Just over a month before the release of season 4, Netflix decided to drop a clip and a trailer. Both were ratioed into oblivion. But it doesn't end there, because every single promotional post on every social media platform was essentially ratioed into oblivion. And then they made the worst mistake possible, actually releasing the show. And let's just say,
I don't know why they released it. They should have just canceled it.
the response hasn't been spectacular. If you go over to Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 60% from the corporate critics, largely padded by
you don't even any sort of critic review isn't real, because critics are biased, and there is a social expectation that you're going to rate movies and shows in certain ways based off of criteria that doesn't necessarily matter to the average audience member. And I think that's the big difference. IGN likes the show. Well, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people obviously don't like this type of content. But the problem is that inside of the professional space, there is a tremendous professional pressure for people to continue giving good reviews and not taking any of the criticism from, the toxic internet seriously and applying it to the shows themselves. There's a huge amount of burying your head in the sand. We're going to just give it the review without even thinking about it. It's a real problem. It is. Like, never trust any sort of industry reviewer about anything, because they are all peer pressured to give certain opinions and to measure their opinions against the political climate of their industry. If you want to listen to an actual real person's opinion, go and look at the actual user reviews, or go watch a YouTube video, because at least those people are honest in what they believe.
You've never heard of, but if you go over to the top critics, it's at 33%, and Metacritic has it at about a 60.
Well, Metacritic, it's a 1.9. I think we should just get rid of critic reviews. They're worthless. Like, why is somebody qualified to watch a TV show and understand it better than you do? Really? Like, what are we talking about? It shouldn't even be considered.
And there's the audience scores, which is currently sitting at
Which is what
20%
matters.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's right.
1.8 on Metacritic, and IMDb is averaging about a 4 out of 10. And yet,
also, by the way, I want to reiterate something that I've said multiple times, is that what are the purpose of reviews? Fundamentally, what are the purpose of reviews? What purpose do they serve inside of the economy? To inform the audience. To inform the audience to make an educated decision. When you have this many reviews that are diametrically opposed or varying tremendously with what the audience reception for something is, I think you've really got to ask yourself the question, are these even really reviews? These aren't even fulfilling their purpose of being a review. If you are giving a review and your reviews for different topics like this are consistently massively different than what the public thinks, then fundamentally you're not doing your job as a reviewer, because people are looking to you to read your review and get an idea of whether the show is good or not. So if you're constantly getting it wrong and you're giving shows that everybody thinks is a 3 or a 2, a 7 or an 8, you've got a problem as a reviewer. Because the reviewers, the customers are the ones that matter, not the reviewers. I don't see how more people don't realize this.
and yes, The Witcher is getting its worst reviews ever outside of Blood Origin. Liam Hemsworth is so
really bad.
cautiously not awful, all while being not good either, as Geralt of Rivia, that he's basically invisible in The Witcher Season 4. Someone forgot to CG The Witcher into his scenes in post. Liam Hemsworth
Yeah, they're not going to have him in it. Yeah.
isn't the problem with The Witcher's 4th season. The Netflix fantasy epic continues its down.
I think that's probably true. I bet Liam Hemsworth did a fine job, and the issue really is with the script. I mean, like, people said season 2 and 3 sucked, and Henry Cavill was in those. It very clearly wasn't the person playing Geralt that was the problem. It was the way it was directed and the focus of the story. That was the problem. It never had anything to do with the actor.
Downward spiral with a bloated and mostly boring new chapter. The Witcher Season 4 review. Liam Hemsworth is as charismatic as a bollard in a wig. The Witcher Season 4 review. Look how Netflix massacred my boy. The first season of the fantasy series without Henry Cavill is dragged down by the Hemsworth in the room. Now I have to...
I think that's just so unfair to the guy. It is. This show was going down the shitter for years. People were hating this show for years. Are we really going to blame everything and scapegoat this guy? Well, think about it. If the show was so great, why did the first guy leave? It's so unfair.
I agree with some of the corporate critics that Liam Hemsworth is not the primary problem with The Witcher Season 4. No, the responsibility of that lays at the feet of one woman. The aforementioned Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, who has finally gotten everything she wanted, complete control of an epic fantasy series on Netflix without the shackles of Henry Cavill. And how did it turn out? Well, about as bad as you would expect. It's time to talk about The Witch Her Season 4.
Jesus. Should have known it's ultimately his fault.
And they waste no time.
I think that, again, he shouldn't have taken the role. It's going to make him look bad, right? Definitely. But maybe he needed the money, right? I mean, who knows?
I'm getting to the cringe because they start with a double recap, including an over 2-minute previously on where they do not show Henry Cavill's face, and The Witcher doesn't utter a line of dialogue. To be fair, it kind of fits because he's barely in his own show. And then they follow that up with just over 8 minutes of reshot scenes from previous seasons with Liam Hemsworth, including the beach off with Vilgefortz. And it plays out like a parody. Think Austin Powers with Tom Cruise, except not played for laughs, yet just as funny.
It's just...
I'm guessing most viewers needed this because most people dipped out at season 2, and I'm also guessing that after this 8 minutes,
probably true.
Most people dipped out. And just in case you didn't think that was the show displaying how
So they recast him doing the exact same scenes that Henry Cavill did in order to make it seem like it was normal that he was the Witcher? Oh my God. Oh, what do you say about something like that? That's crazy.
where they were, they go full meta and transition to an old man who was the guy who played the Blackfish from Game of Thrones, telling a story about The Witcher, but then a young girl comes in and tells him he's doing it wrong and tells the story better, and then convinces herself with this picture of a girl with no face that she is a central part of the story.
You know Ciri's important to me. The whole saga is. Seeing this, I think that's me.
And this is a great example of how Lauren Hissrich cherry picks things from the books and then completely turns them into fanfic feminist gobbledygook. In the books,
why would you?
Nemu is inspired by the stories she listens to in the show. She takes over telling the story and tells it better than the man, and it doesn't get more meta than that, except for
oh my god, bro! Like this is it. This is just this is. It's like the worst. It's the worst possible way of doing it, right? It is.
Telling it better part. Am I right, Lauren? Anywho, what is a complete departure from previous seasons? The plot goes something like this. The evil mage Vilgefortz is looking for Ciri. Yennefer is looking for Ciri. Geralt of Rivia is looking for Ciri. Nilfgaardian Emperor Amir, after finding out he has a fake Ciri, is looking for Ciri. And a new character, Leo Barnhart, is looking for Ciri. And now that I think about it, Ciri is looking for Ciri with her pals, the Rats, who are, without question, the most insufferable and annoying characters ever put to screen in a fantasy adaptation.
So this is like basically, what did they just take? The millennial writers, and they just had to. They're like, all right, go ahead and put on these costumes. You're gonna be in the show now. We can't afford actors anymore.
In the history of time. Oh, and we will get to them. Season 4 is based, let's just say it, on not the best books in Andrei Sapkowski's series, Baptism of Fire and Tower of Swallows. Baptism of Fire is particularly bad, but somehow Lauren Hissrich has made it worse. While the book mainly focuses on the titular character, The Witcher, the show focuses on Yennefer, Ciri, and Geralt. So let's start with the least significant of the three, Geralt of Rivia, who is on
Jesus Christ.
On a journey to find, you guessed it, Ciri, who he believes is in Nilfgaard, and time is running out. So
I mean, this sounds like such a stupid plot, because the beginning of the story, like, I thought he found her. I mean, at a certain point, it gets a little bit ridiculous, doesn't it?
He finds time to get distracted once or twice per episode, including saving a woman from therapists.
I'll take the rapists for 200.
That's therapists.
And isn't it amazing that this world based on Polish and European folklore that is so diverse isn't when it comes to the therapists? Anyway, on this long, arduous journey where, spoilers, they don't get anywhere near finding Ciri, Geralt and Jaskier get caught by Redanian intelligence. Also, they can have one more scene between Jaskier and his boyfriend, King Radovid, who was a character in the book.
Wait, they made Radovid gay?
That Lauren Hissrich aged up from 13 so Jaskier can be gay, and then they broke up. And the rest of the ragtag group Geralt is traveling with are some
Everybody's
dwarves.
gay?
And hey, gotta give credit where credit is due. Props to Netflix for hiring dwarves to play dwarves. Cahir, who's on his redemption arc after kidnapping Ciri, he finally realizes she is the girl who's the key to everything. Geralt originally wants to kill him and lets him go, and then doesn't like him, but then eventually likes him. Milva, who was supposed to look like this in the source material, and yes, the resemblance is uncanny. And then there's Lawrence Fishburne as Regis the Vampire, and again, the likeness to the character in the game is uncanny. And while Lawrence...
as I said, I forgive any race swaps as long as it's being done with a S-tier actor. I don't give a shit. I don't think anybody else does either. But whenever you do a race swap with just some random no-name person for no other reason than to check a box, that's what's annoying. I do. That's fine. I don't care. I don't think it's a big deal.
Fishburne is good in everything he does. Let's just say his character of Regis leans into the age-old trope of the... I'm not going to say it.
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
Oh, jeez.
If you do your job well...
Oh, jeez.
You will run out of monsters to kill, will you not? Your entire being is dedicated to finding someone who you fear you failed. Whatever you dream, pay attention. Not to the fear, but the joy. It will lead you. You've spent a lifetime battling monsters and men. Fear has become a familiar guidepost to you. I sense in you a deeper desire for balance.
We saving the damn world.
Damn.
And again, while this entire journey is in the books, in this show, it only serves as a side quest that goes nowhere. And instead of doing what a talented writer would do, you know, weaving your character's background in and out of the story as it progresses through some show and some tell, they stop abruptly in episode 5 of season 4 to give us a character info dump by campfire. And everybody gets to tell their story, including Yasker's turning into a musical and Regis's ending up being an anime, which arguably is the best part of the—
Wait, what? They turned it into what the fuck?
The show, but it doesn't make it any
What the
less
hell?
jarring. But
what are they doing?
We're following Geralt when it's not being cringe.
Is this real? Did this happen?
Excruciatingly boring. And when we're not getting info dumps, we're getting people sharing their feelings in forests. Geralt and his crew spend an entire episode thinking about crossing a river, then they spend another episode crossing the river, but the worst bit is Geralt sits out an entire episode of his own series. He only fights 3 creatures, and you guessed it, 2 of them are tragically misunderstood women. In the end, he does fight a troll to hold a bridge, but it's also he could be knighted by, admittedly, a girl boss from the books that was perfectly adapted as a girl boss in the show, so he could become Geralt of Rivia. And if it wasn't clear before, it most definitely is now. Lauren Hissrich's least favorite character in her Witcher series is the Witcher. Everyone's going to say poor Liam Hemsworth, and he doesn't seem like a bad guy, but let's keep in mind that he put himself in this impossible—
He did. He put himself in the role. His agent should have never got him the role. Maybe he needed the money, but it's definitely going to make him look bad. It's going to make him look like the plan B. I think it will not be good for his career. It will not. You picked the role. Yeah, but it was his call. It was his call. He did it.
Situation that he was never going to live up to. That being said, he wasn't awful. He was blandly competent. Having no knowledge of the books, he plays it as safe as possible, which actually makes things worse because he has 0 presence and 0 charisma. He is the Temu Witcher, and it comes off as a parody.
Exactly, yes. It's going to look so bad.
And I'm going to date myself here, but it looks like he stepped out of a I can't believe it's not butter commercial. Since most of you aren't going to watch this show, I guess the best or worst example of the downgrade from Henry to Liam would be his constantly trying to recapture the meme from season 1. My unsolicited advice—
Jesus Christ. Oh man, like, and like he doesn't write the script, you know, like, oh god.
For Liam, don't listen to the internet, get that bag, give no fucks, and continue with your himbo Geralt. This brings us to the trope that has been completely played out, particularly in fantasy and sci-fi. The girl who is the key to everything. Some recent examples just off the top of my head. Picard season 1 had the girl who's the key to everything. Willow had the girl who's the key to everything. The Acolyte had the girls who were the key to everything. And hell, the Rings of Power even made Galadriel the girl who was the key to everything. But there is a key to the girl who is the key to everything, making her likable, something this show fails to do. A good example of the girl who was the key to everything would be Lilu from The Fifth Element.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Likable, vulnerable, empathetic, tough, determined. Everything Ciri isn't. She is essentially just a MacGuffin who always finds herself in a state of being lost. While in the books, it definitely feels like there's more going on. In the show, it just feels like everybody's dropped everything and we're just looking for Ciri for 4 seasons in a row. But what makes Ciri's story in this season orders of magnitude worse is the company she keeps. The rats. In the books, they're supposed to be rascally, flamboyant, yet dangerous, murderous bandits. In the show, they come off as annoying Twitch streamers, or in other words,
probably not wrong. I mean, it's not like he's lying, right? I mean, shit.
Twitch streamers, cast by the Netflix HR department. And just like Twitch streamers, in other words, Twitch streamers, cast by the Netflix HR department. And just like Twitch streamers, they're always stealing other people's stuff and essaying each other.
Oh my He's keeping up with it, man. Oh, man. Wow. I did not expect or know that. Holy shit.
And it's just a joke about the stealing other people's stuff part. I don't care that they react to content. And yes, these are the rats and the epitome of the Netflix adaptation.
Guy.
There's the fat, cowardly white guy named Ass-E, the skinny white guy named
Ass-E? Aren't you missing a T?
Kaylee, who is a therapist, the diverse lesbian tweaker named Reef, Discount Tariel, dumb white elf Gisseler, who thinks he's in charge and is supposed to be in the books, but the real boss is the black lesbian Missile, who was supposed to look like this from the source material. Again, the resemblance is uncanny.
Man.
Now, series time with the rats is supposed to be...
The amount of race swaps that they do in these stories is just so completely unnecessary. Nobody wants this. Nobody needs this. Like, there's nobody that's asking for this. This is what's so crazy is, like, I don't know why they keep doing this to shows. Like, I've said before, like, if I see a show is doing a race swap, unless it's like, you know, for example, Nick Fury, you know, or like, you know, Regis with Lawrence Fishburne, I would forgive that. I'd give it a shot for sure. But, like, if I just see random like no-name actors that are, you know, playing these roles, I assume that it's going to be garbage. I do. It's like D&D fan fiction. Yeah, it is. They made Aragorn black in Magic the Gathering. I saw that, actually. Denzel Washington. Yeah, he played, like, didn't he play some, like, Roman emperor or something like that? I wouldn't care about that. That's fine, because I like the actor. But, like, whenever you have random actors and actresses that you don't even know playing these roles, it's like, what purpose do you have doing this? Why is it even happening at all?
Her descent into darkness and her spiritual low point. Instead, we get lesbian Ciri. And to head off and put to bed, for lack of a better...
so she's a lesbian too?
...term,
so everybody's gay. Basically. Everybody's gay.
Books, arguments, because this is another perfect example of, again, for lack of a better term, Lauren Hissrich cherry picking something from a time of content and removing all complexity for the sake of modernity. Therapist Kaylee tries to assault Ciri and is stopped by Missile, who goes on to assault Ciri, who does eventually end up in...
That's so weird. What the hell? Who writes shit like this?
A relationship with Missile, but it's a lot more like Stockholm Syndrome than anything else. In the show, they make the assault consensual. And we all know the reason why, because there is no way in hell modern Hollywood would depict a diverse member of the alphabet community assaulting anyone. And there's no way in hell anyone from modern Hollywood would depict their relationship as anything other than loving. And that's inherently the problem with casting based on...
And that is the issue. I think that's actually a very good point that he brings up, is that a lot of times whenever characters get cast as like race swapped roles, the way the role is changed is to make the character like completely universally good and a Mary Sue type character. That's the big problem. It's that whenever you see this happen, it also means that there's probably not going to be a lot of like complexity to the character at all, because you're just going to have this character that always seems to be right about everything and always has the right opinion about everything, right? And so that's what I really think happens in a lot of these cases. Yeah.
Identity. It removes all complexity and makes everything homogeneously diverse. The best part is somebody at Netflix thought it was a good idea to base an entire show on the rats, but later on, someone else at Netflix probably thought better of it, and they decided to edit it down into a movie and dropped it along with The Witcher Season 4 without telling anybody, and after watching it, I understand why. But there is some good news. There is a happy ending to this story that we'll get to later, because we still haven't gotten to the main protagonist of the Witcher series, the Yennefer. And her part in this is indicative of everything wrong with this show and modern fantasy. Lauren Hissrich basically took a couple of scenes from the books, completely changed them, then amplified it into the most prominent story in season 4. Why? Because there wasn't quite enough female representation. Are you tired of the term girl boy? Because there wasn't...
God. Oh, fuck. Like, what is this? The ending? Jesus, guys. Like, what is going on? Yeah, what is this, Professor McGonagall? Yeah, what the fuck is this? I don't even know what to say. This is embarrassing, bro? Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Quite enough female representation. Are you tired of the term girl boss? Well, hashtag me too. But Hollywood isn't, because this season...
And the thing is that, like, I played The Witcher 3, and Aretuza, which was the fucking, the place where all the sorceresses are, was basically like a whorehouse for, or like an OnlyFans thing for all the rich guys that were in the area. It was just a bunch of hot girls that knew how to cast spells that would sit around telling guys what to do. It was basically OnlyFans for royalty. That was the whole thing.
And we get to see General Yennefer of
Casting
Vengerberg
yeah.
travel the continent to gather her feminist Avengers, including Fringilla, Francesca, Philippa, Margarita, Triss Marigold, and of course their fearless leader, Yennefer of Vengerberg.
Right.
And yes, I completely agree with you, dear audience member. The resemblances to the characters in the source material are uncanny. Oh, and we can't forget the lesbian dwarf, Zemer. And for all the it's in the books people, well, never mind the fact that in Baptism of Fire, Yennefer never formally joins the Lodge of Sorcerers here. She starts it, names it, and then, despite them being a bunch of sorcerers, has them trained in hand-to-hand combat, with one of my favorite aspects of it, constant affirmation.
We can do anything. We're charmed.
Strike me down for saying so, but not the worst. We might actually pull this off, because you're a leader. And you're a damn fine leader.
And yet,
in The Witcher 3, I don't think Vesemir said a single good thing about Yennefer. I don't think he said a single good thing. It's like any time that you would talk to him about her, he would just be complaining. He'd be like, yeah, bro, like, oh my God, she's so annoying. Like, how long is she going to be here? Like, yeah, or Vesemir, yeah, he did not like her. He didn't. It was fucking obvious, right? He was a straight hater. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, like, it wasn't really that he hated her. It was that, like, she's not supposed to be, get this bitch out of here. What are we doing here? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like her. She was a distraction. Yeah.
Yes, Vesemir is back, and just like Geralt of Rivia, he's played by a completely different actor. And he is there to train the novices and the mages in their hand-to-hand combat.
What?
And quite frankly, he does a pretty good job because they pick it up in half a montage scene. And all of this is in preparation for an imminent attack from Vilgefortz, who is after Ciri because everyone else is. And once again, Battle Yennefer and her team of feminist Avengers get the best and most prominent action scene in a series called The Witcher. And this is the episode...
This is just, bro, how is it this fucking corny? How did you, the thing is that you have this guy, you're paying him millions of dollars just to use the books. All you have to really do, the bare minimum, is you just take the books and you make a show out of it. Just do it. You don't have to, like, please stop thinking for yourself, okay? Like, this guy probably got paid more than you. They killed Vesemir in the show? What? Why? Oh my God.
That Geralt sits out of his own show, all to make way for warrior Yennefer and lesbian Ciri. And the worst part about it is they kill off Vesemir, who's supposed to live all the way to the Wild Hunt. And to add
wait, what?
Insult to injury, because of course Yennefer wins the battle against Vilgefortz. She portals over to Geralt, tells him, and Liam Hemsworth can't even manage to look distraught. They just kind of breeze past it and get into PG-13 sexy time. Put simply...
Oh my God. What is going on over there? This is crazy. How is it so... How... Did they just... I mean, I guess this is what happened, right? Netflix knew the show was cooked, and they just let her do whatever she wanted. They did. They were like, you know what? You want to do it? Go ahead. Yeah, sure. Just let her do what she wants. It doesn't matter anymore. Yep, we know it's over. It doesn't matter. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you want to cast an old lady? Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, you got a dwarf woman that's able to beat 3 men with a mace that she gets taught in half an episode, and then she's able to do it, and she has a beard? Okay. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Fuck it.
This show is ass. They waste so much time on Yennefer and her feminist Avengers and lesbian Ciri and blow past important stuff that might make the world feel a little fuller, like Graham McTavish's Dijkstra, who's great but barely in it, and the same could be said for James Purefoy. Yes, he's actually in this series. And Nilfgaardian Emperor Amir is just an afterthought in this and a complete idiot. But that's not the biggest.
Why is he so young? I feel like he's supposed to be old. He should look older.
Waste of all, because there is, surprisingly enough, a really good character in The Witcher Season 4. Sharto Copley's Leo Barnhart. He's the second best in this entire series next to Henry Cavill's Geralt. He's a human bounty hunter who kills witchers, and he's played to perfection. Imagine just an entire series of Henry Cavill's Geralt fighting monsters and Leo Barnhart. I'm in. And he gives us, without question, the most satisfying scene of the entire series, when he hunts down and kills all of the rats brutally. Now, in truth, they sought him out and he made them pay for it, and I was cheering. I was applauding. The only problem is I wasn't supposed to be happy when Ciri's black lesbian girlfriend and her fellow Twitch streamers were brutally murdered, but I was. And their heads get...
Yeah, that's... See, why didn't you just make the whole show like this? That's what people wanted.
Cut off and pickled was just chef's kiss. And that wild hunt they were teasing all through season.
Yeah, what is this? It's the best part.
Not a sign of it here, which is just as well, because Vesemir's dead. Most Witcher fans figured this show didn't have a chance in hell without Henry Cavill, and after watching they were proven completely right, but there were a lot of unintentional laughs on the way. The Witcher Season 4 could be best summed up like this. Boring Liam as Geralt on an inane journey with Lawrence Fishburne narrating his every inner thought. Lesbian Ciri, the gathering of girl bosses, verbal diarrhea exposition by campfire, more lesbian Ciri, gay Yasker, feelings in forests, more lesbian Ciri, the annoying as fuck rats, more lesbian Ciri, all centered around general...
Why would you... That's so weird.
Yennefer and
Why
her
is
feminist
everyone
Avengers.
gay? I
and
don't
if you
know.
think about it, nothing was really accomplished this season, and they only have one more to go, but let's hope that Geralt's in every episode.
No, I thought it was over. I thought Season 4 was the end. They are, right? No? There's a Season 5? What are they doing? Why?
Own show.
Why
for
would
its
you
final
do that?
season, where they're going to have to cram in the events of a couple of books
Oh
and
my
a game.
God.
A season that's already shot and in the can. And the total budget for this show from Season 1 to Season 5 is almost $250 million. But you got to give it up for the woman of the hour getting one over on Netflix, getting a lot of money, and destroying another fantasy show in the process. And that would be head writer and showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, who was handpicked by Netflix partially due to her work with the streamer in the past, and partially, maybe mostly, due to the post-Me Too era virtue signal hiring. That's right, casting a female showrunner of an intellectual property that has a predominantly male audience. Sure, unlike...
Big mistake. Big mistake. Actually, you know what? I mean, J.K. Rowling made Harry Potter. I thought Harry Potter was great. I don't even think it's a mistake to have a woman running it, but she didn't know what the fuck she's doing. That's really the problem. Like, it's had nothing to do with her being a woman. Like, there's plenty of women that write great stories. She's just not one of them. That's it.
Other castings like this, Lauren Hissrich has some writing
that's really where we're
experience
at.
in shows like The West Wing, Private Practice, Parenthood, Power, Daredevil, The Defenders, and The Umbrella Academy. But just because you have some past writing credits with mostly dramas and some superhero fare, doesn't necessarily mean you have the chops to adapt epic fantasy. Just ask Jennifer Hutchinson, who used to write for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and now writes for The Rings of Power. And it's corporate decisions like this, based on ideology and modernity, that have given us this current era of modern fantasy, which should have been a golden age, but instead it's homogeneously diverse. The best example of this, these 4 images, as posted from our good friend John A. Douglas, are from 4 different fantasy shows.
I would not have known that. It looks all the same. They just look like AI-generated Dungeons and Dragons.
Including The Witcher.
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference?
Yeah.
Of course not, but they all have something in common. failing miserably. The Witcher was supposed to be 7 seasons, but it was abruptly cut down to 5 after Henry Cavill left, and Lauren Hissrich is lucky she got that. But she does say, are there more stories? Maybe. Well, actually, there's a lot because you skipped them. But this one has to end at this point. So I think it's a nice time for all of us to step back a little bit. And that probably
I can't imagine her being able to get a good job after this, man. Like, that's what's always so surprising, is that, like, sometimes people will do, like, the worst job at something, and then somebody else will hire them. It's like you just shit the bed, and now people want to give you another bed? No!
Has a lot to do with the audience stepping back a long time ago.
I will be.
And the Witcher showrunner also addressed the backlash to the show. No one's taking the books away. No one's taking the video games away. Everyone can have their version of The Witcher. Unfortunately for you, Lauren, it turns out no one wanted your version.
Nerderotic.com.
Man.
If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Yeah, I guess so, right, guys? Well, there it is. I mean, I feel like it's... I'll link you guys the video. Make sure to give it a like. I thought that was pretty good. And give the link, Baldy. There's the video right there. There it is. You got it. Very good video as always. Yes, absolutely. I loved it. And this makes CD Projekt Red look bad. They produced it. Well, I mean, like, if you're producing a show, it doesn't necessarily... Like, the problem with the show was the casting and the writing. Like, that was the problem, right? I mean, you fix that, and you fix the show. I mean, like, that's really it. And so, like, yeah, the showrunner, yeah, it's not their fault. Like, they didn't do that. And blowing mind vision, there's the video. Give it a like. The Witcher is dead. I cannot believe they're doing a season 5. Why would you do a season 5 after everything else has failed? That's what's so shocking to me about this. Is like, at a certain point, don't you realize, like, hey, you know what? This is basically over. Like, just stop doing it. But I guess they won't. And that's it.